I sometimes find myself blathering on the page and wandering in circles instead of moving forward. Any ideas on how to avoid that? Well, going back to my fifth point from my top tips today on how to on how to write as much as you can, I would say don't try to avoid it. Yes, it's frustrating when you're kind of writing in circles and blathering on the page, but sometimes that blathering is necessary. Sometimes it's part of the discovery process. Sometimes you have to do it to work things out in your mind. Writing a first draft is so much about you working through stuff. It's like, when you have a problem and you want to talk to someone about it and you just sit there and you blather on and you're not really talking in any sort of order. You're just sort of, I got to get all this off my chest and I got to tell you that this person's driving me crazy and then, whatever it is. But that's you working through the problems. And that's why we talk things out to people and why, therapy works and why having friends is beneficial and having a community, all those things. So I kind of look at those blathering on the pages as you doing the same thing in your mind with your characters and figuring out what's going on. If you're finding sort of, okay, I'm really not moving forward after like 3 or 4 days of blathering, then maybe you need to skip that part of the manuscript and find a part where you know what happens and you can sort of move forward from there. And then you would come back to that, in the next draft, you would come back to that part you skipped or that the blathers that you moved past to figure out how you're going to connect it to the rest of the story. But my feeling is that, because this is what happens to me, is that when I find myself kind of writing in those circles and not moving the plot forward, and I do sort of skip ahead to something I know is coming or I know is next or whatever, most of the time what happens is I write like a couple chapters forward and I go, oh, okay, now that she's doing this, I know what was going wrong in that blathering scene that I didn't know how to write. So I will make that note and say, okay, I'll go back to the blathering scene and I'll go, okay, she needs to, do this to set up what I have later. So a lot of times just skipping it can really help you create clarity about it. If you enjoyed this video, we've got a lot more on writingmastery.com. Check the description for links to our blog, free writing tools, and more. Happy writing.